Did you know that the average American home contains around 300,000 items? That's a staggering amount of stuff. Imagine the sheer volume of things that occupy our living spaces. Every drawer, closet, and corner filled to the brim. It's not just physical clutter we're dealing with, but an overwhelming mental clutter that follows suit. We're living in a hidden clutter epidemic, and it's high time we address it. Now let's dive into some startling statistics. Research shows that the average American spends about a year of their life looking for lost or misplaced items. That's a year we could have spent reading, learning a new skill, or simply relaxing. And that's not all. The National Association of Professional Organizers reports that clutter can lead to increased levels of stress and anxiety. It's not just a mess, it's a mental health hazard. This clutter epidemic doesn't just stop at causing stress and anxiety. It also impacts our productivity. A study by Princeton University found that clutter competes for our attention, leading to decreased performance and increased stress. Essentially, the more items in our view, the harder it is for our brain to focus on the task at hand. So, where does all this clutter come from? Well, it's a combination of several factors. The rise of consumerism, the just-in-case mindset, and the emotional attachment we form with our possessions all contribute to the accumulation of clutter. We buy more than we need, hold on to things for longer than necessary, and struggle to let go of items that no longer serve us. But here's the thing. Clutter isn't just about too many things. It's about not having enough space, physically and mentally, for what truly matters. When our surroundings are cluttered, our minds follow suit, and we're left feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and unproductive. Clearly, it's time to take a hard look at what we're holding on to and why. It's time to break free from the hidden clutter epidemic and create spaces that inspire peace, productivity, and joy. Stay tuned as we delve into the 5 proven things you need to eliminate from your home immediately. So, what are these items that are taking up so much space in our homes? Well, they're often hiding in plain sight, and they can be categorized into 5 main groups: outdated electronics, unused kitchen gadgets, old clothing, miscellaneous paper clutter, and unwanted gifts. Let's start with the first culprit: outdated electronics. We're talking about that boxy television from the early 2000s collecting dust in the basement, or that first-generation tablet you just can't seem to part with. These items can be an eyesore, and they're often taking up valuable space that could be put to better use. Next, we have unused kitchen gadgets. Perhaps you've been gifted a bread maker that's been used once, or you've accumulated a collection of novelty tea infusers that are simply gathering dust. They might seem harmless, but these gadgets can take up a surprising amount of cupboard and counter space, contributing to a sense of chaos in the kitchen. Then there's old clothing. We all have those items that we haven't worn in years but can't bring ourselves to get rid of. Maybe it's a pair of jeans that no longer fit, or a dress that's gone out of style. These items can take up valuable wardrobe space and make it harder to find the clothes we actually want to wear. The fourth category is miscellaneous paper clutter. This might include old receipts, outdated documents, and magazines you've been meaning to read. It's easy to let these items pile up, but they can quickly overwhelm your living space and create a sense of disorder. Finally, we have unwanted gifts. We've all received presents that, while well-intentioned, simply aren't to our taste or don't fit in with our lifestyle. These items can make us feel guilty and take up space that could be used for something we actually need or want. Let's dive into each of these categories and discover why they're so problematic. By understanding the types of items that tend to create clutter, we can take a proactive approach to maintaining a tidy, organized home. First up on our list is outdated electronics. It's a familiar sight for many of us. That old smartphone collecting dust in a drawer, the outdated laptop sitting in the corner, or the ancient television set that's been relegated to the basement. As technology continues to evolve at a rapid pace, it's easy for our homes to become burial grounds for outdated electronics. This phenomenon is not just about clutter. It also has a significant environmental impact. Every year, millions of tons of electronic waste or e-waste are generated worldwide. This waste often ends up in landfills, where it can leach hazardous materials like lead and mercury into the soil and water. The production of new electronics, meanwhile, requires the extraction of valuable and often finite resources from the Earth. It's a double-edged sword that's harming our planet. But don't despair. The situation is not hopeless. There are plenty of ways to dispose of your outdated electronics responsibly. Many manufacturers and retailers offer take-back programs where they'll accept your old devices and recycle them properly. There are also many community-based recycling programs and events where you can drop off your e-waste. Recycling electronics not only helps to reduce the environmental impact of e-waste, it also has other benefits. For one, it helps to conserve natural resources. Many electronic devices contain valuable metals like gold and silver, which can be extracted and reused in new products. This reduces the need for mining, which is a major source of environmental degradation. In addition, recycling can also create jobs. According to a report from the United Nations, proper e-waste management could generate millions of job opportunities worldwide. These jobs could range from collection and transportation to sorting and processing, to the actual recovery of valuable materials. But the benefits aren't just global, they're personal too. By getting rid of your outdated electronics, you're also creating a more organized, clutter-free living space. It's amazing how much more open and relaxed your home can feel once you've cleared out the old and made room for the new. Plus, you might even find some old treasures buried beneath those stacks of old devices. A forgotten photo, a cherished memory, a note from a loved one. You never know what you might uncover, so take a look around your home. If you see an old phone, a broken computer, or any other outdated electronic device, don't just let it sit there. Take action, recycle it responsibly. And remember, by doing so, you're not just helping yourself, you're also helping to create a more sustainable world. By clearing out old electronics, you're not just freeing up space in your home, you're also contributing to a more sustainable planet. Next, let's talk about those unused kitchen gadgets. You know the ones I mean. That avocado slicer you thought was ingenious, the popcorn maker that's gathering dust, or the juicer that was going to revolutionize your mornings. We've all been there, lured in by the promise of convenience, only to find these tools taking up valuable space, unused and forgotten. But why does this happen? Well, the allure of these innovative kitchen tools is often rooted in our desire for efficiency and novelty. We imagine ourselves whipping up gourmet meals with ease thanks to these cutting-edge gadgets. However, the reality can often be quite different. These items can quickly become more of a hindrance than a help. They take up valuable counter and cupboard space, making it harder to find and access the tools we do use regularly. And let's not forget, these gadgets often come with a host of parts and pieces that can easily get lost or broken. Now, this isn't to say all kitchen gadgets are unnecessary. Quite the contrary. A well-chosen kitchen tool can indeed be a game changer. But the key here is well chosen. Not every gadget will be a good fit for every kitchen or every cook. So how do we decide which kitchen gadgets to keep and which to let go? Start by taking a good hard look at how you use your kitchen. Are you an avid baker? Then perhaps that stand mixer deserves its place on your counter. Are you a fan of homemade smoothies? Then by all means, keep that blender. But if you find yourself reaching for the same few tools over and over again, while others gather dust, it might be time for a clear-out. Consider the space you have. If your kitchen is small and storage is at a premium, then it's even more important to be selective about the tools you keep. And finally, think about the time and effort involved in using these gadgets. Is it quicker and easier to use a knife than that fancy slicer? Is the hassle of cleaning that juicer worth the benefit? Embracing a minimalist approach to your kitchen doesn't mean sacrificing functionality. In fact, it can enhance it. A clutter-free kitchen is easier to navigate, making cooking a more enjoyable and efficient process. And remember, getting rid of unused kitchen gadgets doesn't necessarily mean throwing them away. Consider donating them to a charity shop or selling them online. Someone else might find the item useful, even if you didn't. In the end, it's about creating a kitchen that works for you, one that is efficient, enjoyable, and free from clutter. Because after all, the kitchen is the heart of the home, and a happy heart makes a happy home. Remember, a clutter-free kitchen is a more efficient and enjoyable place to cook. Moving on to our third category, old clothing. This is a common clutter culprit lurking in most wardrobes. Why do we hold on to clothes we no longer wear? Sentimentality, guilt, or the hope that one day they might fit or come back in style. But let's face it, that day rarely comes. The truth is, our clothes tell a story about who we are. They represent our personal style and how we want the world to perceive us. So why clutter up our wardrobes with clothes that no longer serve this purpose? Now let's talk about the benefits of a capsule wardrobe. Imagine opening your wardrobe and seeing only clothes that you love and that fit you perfectly. Sounds dreamy, right? This is the concept of a capsule wardrobe. It's about simplifying your clothing and only keeping the essentials that truly reflect your style. A capsule wardrobe is typically made up of around 30 to 50 items, including footwear and accessories. These items are versatile and can be mixed and matched to create a variety of outfits. This might sound limited, but in reality it offers more than enough options for most people's daily needs. And here's the interesting part. Fewer choices can actually bring more freedom. It might seem counterintuitive, but having fewer clothing options can make getting dressed in the morning easier and less stressful. It eliminates the "I have nothing to wear" syndrome, despite a wardrobe full of clothes. Moreover, a capsule wardrobe can save you time, money, and space. It encourages mindful shopping and reduces the tendency to make impulsive purchases. It makes your wardrobe more organized and manageable, making it easier to keep track of what you have and what you need. By eliminating old clothing, you're making room for items that truly reflect your style and personality. You're not just decluttering your wardrobe, but also simplifying your life. So give it a try. You might be surprised at how liberating it feels to let go of the old and make way for the new. Now, let's tackle the paper clutter. Paper, it's everywhere, isn't it? From the countless receipts, old bills, and junk mail to the long-forgotten notes, magazines, and newspapers. It's a seemingly endless stream that can quickly turn into a towering pile. But fear not, for we have the power to overcome this paper plague. One of the most effective ways to combat paper clutter is to go digital. In this age of technology, many of our paper trails can be easily replaced by digital versions. Bills, bank statements, even that precious family recipe can all be digitized, saving us from the avalanche of paper. Not only does this reduce clutter, but it also aids in preserving these documents for the long haul. Plus, it's a great way to contribute to the environment by reducing paper waste. However, there will always be certain documents that need to be kept in physical form, such as birth certificates, marriage licenses, or important contracts. For these, it's crucial to establish an organized system. Consider investing in a filing cabinet or document organizer. Categorize each document and label them clearly. This way, they're easy to locate when you need them, and they won't contribute to the overall clutter. For the rest of the paper clutter, it's time to be ruthless. Old newspapers, magazines, junk mail, receipts that you don't need for tax purposes. It's time to let them go. Recycle where you can and discard the rest. If you're worried about personal information, invest in a small home shredder. And remember, decluttering isn't a one-time event, but rather an ongoing process. Make a habit of dealing with paper clutter as it comes in. Open mail immediately, decide whether it's necessary to keep, and if not, dispose of it promptly. Remember, every piece of paper you eliminate is a step towards a more organized and stress-free home. Taming the paper beast might seem daunting at first, but with these strategies in place, you'll find that it's not only possible, but also incredibly liberating. Finally, let's talk about unwanted gifts. Ever been gifted a bright pink flamingo lawn ornament when you live in a small apartment, or received a box of chocolates when you're allergic to nuts? We've all been there. Unwanted gifts can be a source of guilt and confusion. You appreciate the thought behind the gift, but you can't help but think of the space it's taking up in your home. The first step in dealing with unwanted gifts is dealing with the guilt. Recognize that the person who gave you the gift wanted to make you happy. If the gift isn't serving that purpose, it's okay to let it go. Remember, the act of giving is more important than the gift itself. Next, consider donating the item to a charity or a local thrift store. there's a good chance that someone else will cherish that bright pink flamingo or enjoy those nut-filled chocolates. In this way, you're not just decluttering your space, you're also passing on the joy of receiving to someone else. Another option is to re-gift. Now, this can be a sensitive topic, but if done thoughtfully and respectfully, it can be a great solution. Have a friend who loves quirky lawn ornaments, or a coworker who's a chocoholic. As long as the gift is in good condition and you genuinely believe the recipient would love it, why not pass it on? Lastly, if you can't find a new home for the gift, consider recycling or disposing of it responsibly. Yes, it's not the ideal solution, but it's better than letting it take up space and gather dust in your home. By letting go of unwanted gifts, you're not only freeing up space in your home, you're also freeing yourself from guilt and obligation. You're creating a space that truly reflects you and your preferences. And isn't that what a home should be? In the words of William Morris, have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful. So let's start creating a home that is both useful and beautiful, shall we? So what are the benefits of eliminating these 5 categories of items from your home? Well, let's dive right into it. One of the primary benefits is increased productivity. When your space is clear, your mind tends to follow, allowing you to focus on the tasks at hand rather than being distracted by piles of stuff. Another significant benefit is stress reduction. Clutter can create a sense of chaos, mentally and physically. By eliminating it, you're providing yourself with a more tranquil environment, conducive to relaxation and well-being. Moreover, having a clutter-free home gives you more freedom. You'll spend less time tidying up and rummaging through unused items, and more time doing the things you love. Not to mention, it's easier to maintain a clean home when you're not constantly battling against clutter. So, you're not only creating a more inviting space, but also a healthier one. Remember, a clutter-free home isn't just about space, it's about creating a peaceful, productive environment where you can thrive.